everybody, hope you're doing okay. Welcome to the forward at Shere. Can only mean one thing, can't it? We're testing some GORE-TEX shoes. This time I've got the Velocity Nitro 4 GTX on my feet. And I'm going to do a bit of waterproof tests. I'm also going to do a bit of comparison with the regular Velocity Nitro 4. So I have to say the fall is looking quite deep today, but let's see how far we can go. I've got a bit of an injury. It was a follower the other day, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do the antics of running through the fall this time, but we'll see how we go. Let's see if we can tiptoe in and see how far we get. Okay, these are the shoes on feet. I'm going to do a comparison with the regular Velocity Nitro 4 later, but what I would say straight out the back, they feel almost identical to the regular version, which is great. Just covering the edge there. Absolutely no problem so far. I think normal shoes you'd already be absolutely sodden. Let's go a bit far to get the tops covered there. And again, I'm still not feeling any water coming through. Obviously for a normal run you would just use the bridge, wouldn't you? But sometimes needs must, and if it was really flooded you would just have to wade through. But that's normally about the extent of how good the GTX shoes are, right up to the top of the laces. You can see here that completely covered here. This water's pretty nippy as well, and that's moving quite quickly. So yeah, there's my finger, that's how deep it is. So you can see that, a few inches for sure. Let's see if we can go a bit further. So now we actually are going over the top of the laces there. Still not really feeling any water coming through, so that is pretty impressive. Considering this isn't that stiffer GORE-TEX layer either compared to the Pegasus. Much thinner layer, much more nimble of a shoe. There's a runner going by, got the right idea, isn't it? Right, let's see how far we can get before we start to feel we actually are getting wet. Still okay. Oh yeah, now I could just about feel it coming through my socks a bit, but yeah, only very gradually. It's almost totally submerged now, so that is very impressive, I would say. Should we do a run-through test? I think we've got to really, haven't we? I have to say I did actually get my feet a bit wet there, but considering that the actual water level is way above the level of the shoe, it's not much you can do about that. But in terms of like actually surviving, getting through the run, absolutely fine. Apart from my banged up knee and foot. Normally you'd obviously just take the bridge, wouldn't you? But it just goes to show that you can actually get through these sort of things and have your feet reasonably dry. If you've got the version of the shoe that's GORE-TEX and it's wet, then it's an obvious nice choice, and it's basically the same shoe just with the GORE-TEX layer. So that in a sense is a really good advantage if you like this shoe and you just want to have a bit of extra water protection. So we just do a comparison between the normal one, the blue one, and the GTX GORE-TEX one, the black one. Well, the good thing is that they basically are pretty much identical weights. In my size, UK 13, the normal one is 289 grams, and the GTX version is only marginally more at 292. So basically, you're not really going to be telling any difference. The outsoles are perhaps somewhat surprisingly exactly the same, but that's good in a way, because if you want a shoe basically just for a wet weather road shoe, then you've got exactly the same feel between the two. Forgot to mention that the GTX version of the Velocity Nitro 4 already done 100 miles in, and I've done 150 in the regular version. So definitely my favourite daily trainers of the moment. Certainly a nice shoe that is a nice compromise between cushion and a bit of ground feel. It's not like a matte cushion thing, and equally it's not a racing shoe. It's an ideal compromise between the two. And then the rest of the shoe is pretty much the same as well. The heel count is the same. The upper's obviously different because it's a GORE-TEX upper on this one, but otherwise it's a very familiar feel, and just walking about with one on each foot, then it really just can't tell any difference, and the sizing is pretty much the same in both. So in that sense, it's a really good sort of thing, I think, because you're buying a different version of the shoe and you aren't basically getting a different shoe, as it were. Whereas if you say get the Pegasus 41 or the Pegasus 41 GORE-TEX edition, there's quite a difference between the two, because the GORE-TEX edition is quite a lot stiffer, it's quite a lot heavier, and amazingly these are over 100 grams lighter than the Pegasus 41 GORE-TEX, and best part of 100 grams lighter than the Pegasus Trail 5 GORE-TEX. Those are very good shoes for what they are, but if you want a sort of a nimble shoe that you actually sort of do some goal pace in, actually get going as well as you normally daily training, then I think the GORE-TEX version of this one is a really great option, because it's basically the same shoe, but you're just getting that wet weather protection as well. Then the difference I did detect on the normal version, the normal tongue is a bit more gusted, whereas on the GORE-TEX version, I think to improve the waterproofing, as it were, then you don't get quite the same gusting. It's more sort of like sewed in, so you don't get that ability to sort of flap it out. But obviously with this sort of shoe, once you've got it on foot, your main mode is to keep your feet dry, not worrying about that. So in that sense, maybe just a slightly more sort of flexibility with the tongue in this one, but once you got it on foot, I really didn't notice any difference. The other good thing about the uppers on this one is that normally in Gore-Tex shoes, they're really quite stiff, but in this one, although they are a bit stiffer than the normal engineered mesh one, you really don't tell the difference quite as much. I think that really reflects in the fact that this one is only a few grams heavier, and you really aren't going to notice. And there's just so much more flexibility in this upper than there is in the Pegasus 41 Gore-Tex or the trail version as well. So in that sense, that's another big bonus, because you don't feel like you're wearing a completely different shoe in that respect. If you look at the tongues, the actual tongues on both, there's a bit of padding there across the laces to stop lace bites, so that's very welcome. I find that really helps really well. And the laces, they do actually look pretty much the same. Obviously with the black ones here, you've got a bit of reflection in the dark. Not quite sure whether the blue one's got the same reflection, but it's got the same sort of pattern for sure. So in that sense, another very familiar thing. Comparing the sidewalls there, and it's obviously a bit harder to see with the all black one, but definitely you kind of feel that this is pretty much exactly the same, and I can't detect any difference. At the back there, the heel counter's got the same amount of padding, got pretty much the same at the back there as well. So yeah, another plus point for sure. Another test for the Gore-Tex shoe is how is it actually on a muddy path here. This is a particularly brutal one. I think Ben Lotley and Robin Marbutt would find this really horrendous. We won't be able to run this on this at all. So let's see how we go. Just a little run up and down this little thing here. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Obviously wasn't going too fast, but I managed to stay upright, unlike I did the other day. Okay, I think this is the bridge where Cameron Diaz was filmed in the holiday film. See if we can find a comparison picture. There's another Ford up here, so let's have a quick look at this one. Here's the other Ford in Shere, looking decidedly more brutal than the other one. I don't think I'll be wading through this one, but so go up to the water's edge. Yeah, this one is just a lot more muddy, and yeah, could get very deep very quickly in this one. I feel a bit of water now under my socks after that last escapade, but yeah, working very well for sure. So is this a shoe that you think you might get? Definitely would recommend it. Anyway, hope you find this interesting. Like and subscribe on that, and see you next one then. Bye. And here we are back at the first Ford, all lit up. Rather nice, isn't it?